Hi, this is Pete May, president of GreenBiz Group, and we're here today at GreenBiz Studio with Walter Leclerc, who is Director of Environmental, Occupational Health and Safety at Digital Realty. Walter, welcome to GreenBiz Studio.
Thanks, Pete. Glad to be here.
Yeah. And we're going to talk today about water. Water, since we launched GreenBiz, 14 years ago, water's always the next big topic. And for some of our readers and companies at GreenBiz Studio, water is really an essential one. And so it's great to go deep with a company like Digital Realty because to talk about the importance of water and some of the cool things you're doing around water. First of all, I think Digital Realty is a real estate company and a data center company. So why do you need to worry about water?
Yeah, I think fundamentally to that, Pete, we want to be a good corporate citizen. So I think that's just the fundamental part of it. Digging deeper, one of our drivers on focusing on water was around the process that we realized that global water scarcity is a real thing. It is a fact. And so as a global organization, we have a lot of data centers in stressed water areas. And as our business continues to grow, we're likely to expand into other water stressed areas. So the nexus between water management and our business expanding couldn't be clearer for us. There's some other things that drove us to look at water. Obviously, water has great heat transfer properties, which make it an ideal solution in a lot of regions and a lot of areas. It's also water scarcity and water quality issues can be a negative for our data center operations if we don't manage it properly. The third thing basically is the secret's kind of out, which is what you're really applying there. The secret's kind of out that data centers use a lot of water. And then for us, fundamentally, we want to address the local challenges because the water industry is really localized. So we're kind of following the old adage, think globally, but act locally. So we're doing that with our global water strategy.
Yeah, well, that's great. So tell us a little bit about 2021 goals for you in water management.
Yeah, our fundamental goal now is we've put the baseline together on our global water strategy. We've done a lot of great work about evaluating each of our data centers around the globe, but now we want to make it, we want to digitalize our metrics. We want to have true water metrics. It's not just gallons used. We're looking to put into a water use efficiency, WUE, very similar to the energy PUE. And we want to look at kilowatts per gallon. We want to look at regional effects and how we're affecting watersheds. So that's our goal for this upcoming year. And we're going to be using Ecolab's new water flow intelligence tool, which will help us to develop really nice dashboards, which we'll use locally around the globe as well as centrally at corporate. And we'll leverage those tools, and we'll be able to save even more water and money moving forward. So we're highly motivated for our 2021 goals.
Yeah, that's interesting. So can you talk a little bit about, you mentioned, obviously Ecolab is a really key partner for you here, but can you talk about that or other strategic or key partnerships? Because as we know at GreenBiz, a lot of times to make progress in these areas, you need to address kind of the whole ecosystem and bring in partners in. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure, I'm glad to. So if you ask, what's our key partner on the water management, and it is Ecolab and Nalco Water. Nalco Water is a sub of Ecolab. They have been fantastic from the very beginning. I could tell you all about their water technologies, their 3D tracer, their cloud solutions. We've used them all. We are using them all, but they got just fantastic people. We're finding the interactions locally have been great. When we do have little stumbles, we're able to resolve them very efficiently. And so the team and the Ecolab Nalco Water tools have been just key for us. And they really have been with us from the start of this journey. We're in our 4th year now. And we started with a water safety plan, which was really focused on Legionella. So we looked at that globally, as well as started collecting VAP credits in a lot of the locations. And we started at downtown Los Angeles to now they're actually helping us with our reduction, reuse, and recycling projects around the globe, so we can optimize our water use and then increase our efficiencies and ensure that our data centers are operating properly. So it's been a
Yeah.
fantastic partnership. So
Uh, that's great. So my last question, we always like to ask, I think of water, and I think, there's companies like Digital Realty in the data center area. There's the beverage companies, there's semiconductors that are using water intensely and are pretty far down the path of understanding how to manage water and water imprints. But I'd say, I would guess the wide swath of the corporations that we work with, water is on that list, but they're just now formulating their strategies. What advice do you give to the wide swath of corporation companies and public sector groups and players about what are the advices and things that you've learned to make smart water management?
yeah, that's a great question, Pete. That goes back to the development of our global water strategy, which we did years ago. The advice I have is you've got to have a plan. You have to know where you are, and it's just not talking about your operation or your business. You have to understand your local watershed, the water quality that is coming into that particular location, and that kind of goes back to the localized approach I told you with our global water strategy. Is you have to really think locally, because every area has a different unique aspect to it that you have to address. And then for us, the partnership, we did not have the expertise overall across the globe from a water management perspective. And that's why we brought in Ecolab and Nalco Water to help us do that. And it's been a fantastic strategic partnership.
Yeah, well, that's great. And what we know is, with the impact of water, it's the importance of water management is only going to grow as a strategic and environmental consideration for companies. So, Walter Leclerc of Digital Realty and a partner of Ecolabs, thanks for joining us here on GreenBiz Studio today.
Oh, thanks for having me. Really appreciate it. Have a great day.